better chance of getting an interview call. मग येतं रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर. रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर म्हणजे इट इट मीन्स to whom this position might report into. आता ही इन्फॉर्मेशन सगळ्या जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शनमध्ये असेलच असं नाही, बट ॲज अ जॉब सीकर इट माइट बी अन इम्पॉर्टंट इट माइट बी अ गुड टू नो information for you, so that you will know how your team is spread out, or if your reporting person is going to be based out of India or in a different geography, then you can check about remote working options or what work hours you might have to work. तर अशा प्रकारे that might be an important information for you. तर why am I telling about the job description is because it becomes the first reference point for you to know what the company that you're applying to is looking for in a candidate. uh, and what information from your resume needs to be highlighted so that it catches the eye of the hiring manager or the recruiter. So before you begin with any interviews, make sure that you have a copy of your job description with you. So always ask for a job description. ते नेहमी अवेलेबल असतं, रिक्रुटरकडे असतं. इफ यू आस्क अ रिक्रुटर, ते डेफिनेटली तुम्हाला पाठवतील एक जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन. तर once you have the job description, the important thing is where to start looking for a job. There are some sites like Naukri.com or Monster.com where you typically start looking for a job, and basically you start with uploading your profile on these job sites. तर त्या जॉब साईट्स वरती आपण बघितलं तर इफ एनी हॅज प्रायर एक्सपिरियन्स ऑफ अप्लाइंग ऑन दीज जॉब साईट्स, तिथे अपार्ट फ्रॉम रेझ्युमे अपलोडिंग तुम्हाला बरीच काही काही इन्फॉर्मेशन मागतात तुमच्याकडून, आणि ते फील्ड्स भरावे लागतात आपल्याला. काही काही क्वेश्चन्स असतात, आणि मग आपण रेझ्युमे अपलोड करतो ती इन्फॉर्मेशन झाल्यावरती. आता ह्या इन्फॉर्मेशनमध्ये दर इज नथिंग लाईक आउट ऑफ सिलेबस काही नसतं, सगळं आपल्याबद्दलच लिहायचं असतं. पण ते फक्त आपल्याला एका सर्टन फॉर्मॅटमध्ये लिहायचं असतं, सो दॅट वेन अ रिक्रुटर सीज युअर प्रोफाईल ऑन द जॉब साईट, त्यांना काहीतरी असं दिसतं समरी तुमची. This is an example of a candidate who's filled all the information properly. And as you can see, there is 6 years experience mentioned, current salary काय आहे, current location, current employment, previous employment, education, preferred location, key skills. आणि त्याच्या फोटोच्या खाली you can see a quick snippet of a profile headline or something like that, आणि त्याची contact information. Again, why is this important is because in some cases recruiters might not have unlimited resume views on a job site. It depends on the package that they've purchased. And so in that case, it becomes very important for a recruiter to see this summary. तर ही जर complete नसेल, तर a recruiter might not want to waste their resume views on by opening an incomplete profile summary. So how does an incomplete profile summary look like? Is something like this. So if I'm a recruiter with limited number of views, I probably might not want to open this resume because I'm not sure if this person is actually looking for a job or not, or त्यांचा resume जरी uploaded आहे की नाही, I don't know. So I might not open this resume. So it becomes important for you to fill all that information जी मागतात on the job site properly. Okay. So what goes in making a resume? माझ्याकडे एक I have tried to outline a structure of how we can make sure that we are putting in the absolutely required information in a resume. So this is the information that you absolutely must have in a resume. Can you see the screen that is ideal resume? I'm hoping you can see that screen now. So there is name and contact info. that has to be there. In this section, you can put in your social media presence as well, or if you have any website that you're regularly contributing to, or a blog site that you have, or your LinkedIn profile. Uh, all these social media presence information, you can add it along with your name and contact info. Then comes your professional summary. Now, professional summary is a good way to highlight those aspects of your profile which you want the recruiter or the hiring manager to absolutely see. This is where the information that you see in the job description comes in handy, where you can match your skill set along with what is required in the job description आणि ते professional summary मध्ये तुम्ही highlight करू शकता. After this comes the employment. Your current employer should be first, and your oldest employer gradually should be towards the end. So chronology is important here, and it has to be latest to oldest. Then after employment, mention your additional projects that you're handling in your current role, probably which you want the hiring manager to know. Uh, you can mention a few lines or few details about that project. After that comes your education, again latest to oldest. आता ह्यात avoid mentioning your 10th and 12th details, because generally graduation and above is what matters. So graduation, masters, PhD, or any other vocational course or certification, professional certification that you've done, you can mention that under education. Again, latest to oldest. Then mention your skills, your key skills that you have. Probably something like uh, multimedia or videography. As a journalist, probably you might have to build on these skills, then interviewing skills or researching skills. So those are the skills that you can mention here. Then after that, if there are any awards and honors or achievements that you would like to share, use the awards and honors section to mention that. Then hobbies and interests. So hobbies and interests मध्ये we don't want to know if you like watching movies or going for long drives or something like that. But make sure that the hobbies and interests are something that are adding value to your profile or aligning in some way to the company that you're applying for or the job description that you have. Uh, we can look at a sample resume where you will get a better idea of how this structure should look like in reality. Okay. So here we have an example, a sample resume of ABCD, and this person has mentioned their contact info in a clear way. Then there is the professional summary, which is a good snippet of the entire career, highlighting all the important points that this person wants to highlight. Then there is the work experience with employment details, current employment to previous employment, and then the older employment. Now, immediately as a recruiter, when I look at this profile, I'm getting a lot of information immediately as soon as I see the resume. आणि एक रिक्रुटरची मेंटल चेकलिस्ट असते, where we look at any where we look at the continuity in the profile. म्हणजे timelines जे दिलेत, मार्च 2014 टू प्रेझेंट, बरं म्हणजे मार्च 2014च्या आधी दुसऱ्या कंपनीत किंवा दुसऱ्या रोलमध्ये होता प्रॉबेबली. तर अशी कंटिन्युटी एक बिल्ड होत जाते रिक्रुटरच्या डोक्यात. आणि अलॉंग विथ दॅट ह्याच्या खालती करंट एम्प्लॉयमेंटच्या खालती जे पॉईंट्स मेन्शन केलेत, फाईल 3 सोशल मीडिया और वेब स्टोरीज ईच डे, म्हणजे हे रोल्स अँड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आहेत. So immediately the recruiter will start mapping this information with what is required in the job description. तर त्यासाठी it is important that we put all this information in a good way. आणि timelines we have to be careful because there is a continuity that we are always looking for. So March 2014 to present, मग previous prior to that some other company, September 2012 to March 2014. Okay, so this person has been in continuous employment is what I get to know. मग त्याच्या आधी I will expect some experience prior to September 2012, but I see that this person was a staff reporter at a different company at the same time. So immediately there is a call to action for the recruiter uh, to ask the candidate, were you a freelancer during this time, and is that why you were able to work at multiple companies? So that is how continuity is important. Mug 2012 seems to be the first time seems to be the first company. So त्याच्या आधी I expect to see some education qualification to be complete. So here I can see Bachelor of Arts in 2012. And along with employment, this person has also completed their masters. So this looks like a good resume, good candidate who probably fits into what I'm looking for as a recruiter. And like I said, skills, awards, achievements, and hobbies and interests also are mentioned, which are reiterating the fact about what the professional summary said and what the employment details said. तर इथे you can see hobbies and interests मध्ये if you can mention any society or if you're an influencer in any forum where you're regularly contributing to or writing to, do take this opportunity to mention those aspects of your profile. This just helps build credibility to your profile. कारण काही काही forums आणि काही काही societies which you're a part of might be very prestigious. And being a member of those forums might be a good thing to have on your profile. For example, in one of the previous sessions, Aditi mentioned about STC, which is Society for Technical Communication. So most of the writers are a part of this forum, and it is an international forum, and and we have a separate India chapter as well. So it helps putting such information under hobbies and interests. So this is a sample resume. I have just pulled in information from different places. So this is not if I this is a pure coincidence if it matches someone else's profile. So this is how a structure in action looks like. Going back to the presentation, you can look at the structure and the resume also separately. Now, this was what an ideal or a good CV looks like. Let's quickly take a look at how a profile should not be and the things to avoid in a resume. Sorry. आता इथे तुम्हाला एक रेझ्युमे दिसेल एबीसीचा. ॲट फर्स्ट ग्लान्स हा रेझ्युमे खूप सॉर्टेड आणि क्लिअर वाटतोय. पण जसं जसं वाचायला लागू तसं कळायला लागतं की ह्याच्यातून फारशी ॲक्शनेबल इन्फॉर्मेशन काही मिळत नाहीये मला. For example, at the start there is something called a career objective. To get a challenging position where I can express my ideas and thinking with a free mind and full liberty and can use my experience of journalism. ह्याच्यातून I am only getting the fact that this person has experience of journalism. Now, in the interest of space, like I said, a resume should be one page or a maximum 2-page document. In the interest of this, we can avoid such sections like career objective or something, and instead use that space to highlight some more or other aspects of your profile. Then you can see career summary, which is good, but again त्याच्यातून मला फार काही information as a recruiter मिळत नाहीये. And then comes personal qualities, key responsibilities handled, computer knowledge. In today's age, any company will expect you to know the basic use of computer and you have to be internet savvy. This doesn't become a part of your profile. It is assumed that you have to have this information unless you've done some really very awesome and cool certification in some really in vogue uh, computer software which you are very happy to mention about. Then you can mention it specifically, but otherwise avoid this section. Then achievements, again if you notice one thing, आपण ऑलमोस्ट पूर्ण रेझ्युमे बघितलाय आणि अजूनही आपल्याला त्याचे एम्प्लॉयमेंट डिटेल्स कळालेले नाही आहेत. फॉर अ रिक्रुटर दिस इज अ व्हेरी crucial information, because from a recruiter's perspective, I'm always looking at which company is this person working in currently. Do we have any uh, no hire clause with that company? Is that our competitor company? So these are some questions that we are, as a recruiter, we are looking at. So make sure that your current employment details are put at the beginning of your resume, uh, and your education qualification is also mentioned. So halfway through the resume, and I still don't know where this person is working. So these are some things that you should make sure that you don't have in your resume. It has to be very consistent, clear, and every line in your resume should be adding value to your profile in some way for a recruiter or the hiring manager. Then one last point at the end of the resume, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's in very small font. All information in this resume is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Personally, I feel you can avoid this line because this is your resume written by you and you are willingly submitting it to someone for a job prospect. Uh, so it is known that this information is true and this document is going to be your representation in the company. So you, again, in the interest of space, avoid writing this line as well. So this is a quick look at what a good resume looks like, what is the structure in a resume, and what a bad resume looks like. Moving on. So once you have your base resume information ready, there are some, you can play around with laying out that information in your document. There are a lot of options available on Google, आणि तिथे templates वगैरे available असतात. लगेच download करून you can put in your information in that layout and you'll be good to go. If you're not keen on using the templates on the internet, our good old Microsoft Word is very good, and it has a section dedicated resumes and cover letters. So out of habit, we are used to clicking on a blank document when we want to work on Word, and we ignore anything else on that screen and move on to creating a document. So if you just look along with that blank document option in Word, there is a section that says templates. And in once you click on templates, it will take you to a lot other templates like business letters or invitations or resumes and cover letters. So resumes and cover letters is what you can see in the screenshot just below the layout ideas title. So these are some templates from Microsoft Word itself. And then if you want to get a little creative, Google is always there for help, and you can take inspiration and ideas from Google, and you can get a little creative with it. Layout can help you either reduce the number of pages in your resume, or if you don't have much information, if you're a fresher, मग in that case तुम्हाला तुमची थोडी जी काही एज्युकेशनची इन्फॉर्मेशन असेल, पेपर प्रेझेंटेशन्स किंवा सेमिनार्स कुठे अटेंड केला असतील, तर ती इन्फॉर्मेशन थोडी स्प्रेड आउट करून कशी चांगली दाखवता येईल, that way a good layout can help you. Then moving on to the next part, in layout ideas itself, I'll quickly talk about the new trend that might be picking up or might be a new trend eventually, is video resumes. I am not sure how many companies are explicitly asking for a video resume, but there might be some startups जे video resumes encourage करत असतील आणि बघत असतील. So there are some platforms जिथे तुम्ही तुमचा व्हिडिओ रेझ्युमे अपलोड करू शकता किंवा क्रिएट करून घेऊ शकता त्यांच्याकडून. You might have to probably pay for those services, but these options are available now on some platforms. आणि the few things that you need to keep in mind before making a video resume is, it cannot be a very long resume. It cannot be a very long video. Maximum 1 to 2 minutes max चा व्हिडिओ असू शकतो. तुम्हाला त्याच्या आधी एक स्क्रिप्ट प्रिपेअर करावी लागेल बिफोर यू स्टार्ट टॉकिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कॅमेरा. त्या स्क्रिप्टमध्ये अगेन द स्ट्रक्चर that I told you earlier comes into play. The key things that you want to highlight should be there in your script. You should be able to talk about those aspects of your profile which you absolutely want the hiring manager to see or the recruiter to see. मग तुम्ही कॅमेराच्या समोर असता तेव्हा तुमच्या भोवती थोडी ब्लँक स्पेस असते. यूज दॅट ब्लँक स्पेस क्रिएटिव्हली अँड यूज दॅट टू हायलाइट any aspects that you want the recruiter or the hiring manager to remember about you. It might be your social media handle, or it might be a phone number, it might be a very special qualification or a skill set, a unique skill set that you want to highlight. So use that creatively. Then again, like I said, be brief, be specific to the point, and at the end of the video, there has to be a call to action for the recruiter. की ठीक आहे बाबा, मी हा resume हा व्हिडिओ बघितला ह्या व्यक्तीचा, आता पुढे काय मग करायचं. So give your contact information. Uh, if you're not comfortable giving away your phone number, give your email ID or your social media handles again, where they can reach out to you. So these are a few points you need to remember when you create a video resume also. If I remember correctly, in one of the previous sessions, Kshitij Patwardhan mentioned about an elevator pitch for script writers. So look at your resume as an elevator pitch about your story. So when you're not there, your resume is going to be speaking for you. And this has to be a crisp summary of what your education and professional qualification is. So again, a resume is your elevator pitch to the company that you're applying for. So moving on, let's look at how your LinkedIn profile or your social media profile can be leveraged for your job prospects. Excuse me. There are a lot of options that are available. Every social media platform has its at least one or two unique features that can be leveraged. Initially, LinkedIn was perceived as a social media platform, but over the years, it has evolved into becoming a very robust tool for recruiters as well as job seekers. तर रिक्रुटर्ससाठी वेगळा लिंक्डइनचा व्ह्यू असतो आणि विच ॲक्ट्स लाईक अ जॉब साईट पण विथ व्हेरी डिफरंट फीचर्स. आणि फॉर अ जॉब सीकर इट इज द युजल LinkedIn view that we have. For some premium services you can pay and get those services, but otherwise a regular LinkedIn profile is good enough to access most of its features. Use all options that are available in LinkedIn or any other social media platform. For example, in LinkedIn there is an option called profile headline. तर त्या हेडलाईनमध्ये मोस्टली आपण काय करतो, वी राईट आवर जॉब टायटल और लुकिंग फॉर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज एवढंच लिहितो. इन्स्टेड ऑफ जस्ट सेइंग लुकिंग फॉर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज, यू कॅन राईट this skill set, so and so skill set person looking for opportunity in this industry. असं काहीतरी थोडं स्पेसिफिक लिहिलं किंवा समथिंग दॅट इमिजिएटली कॅचेस समवन्स अटेन्शन, असं काय लिहिलं तर दॅट विल बी ऑफ मोर यूज टू यू ॲज अ जॉब सीकर. आणि एक ऑप्शन असतं म्हणजे ओपन टू जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज म्हणून एक फील्ड असतं, जे तुम्ही जर स्विच ऑन केलं तर recruiter, when when the recruiter is looking for candidates on LinkedIn, तुमची profile highlight होते because just we switched on that active job seeker option. So make sure that you explore a little on these social media platforms and find out what works for you and what works for your industry and domain that you're aspiring to join. And there is Insta story, there is Facebook profile that you can leverage, there's Twitter that you can leverage. the make sure what works and what clicks in your industry, what is more used in your industry, and you can use appropriate platform to reach out. Then promote yourself. I think social media is has proven to be the best place to promote yourself, especially when you're looking for opportunities. Uh, you can start creating a blog, a very specific blog about your industry, where you share your thoughts, your ideas, or you can use your Twitter bios to talk about what unique skills that you have, uh, what expertise that you hold. Then you can also use your Insta story for that matter, considering if you have the right kind of people following you. Your Insta story also can be a pitch for a good job prospect for yourself. Again, like I said, see what clicks for you and see what social media platform and what options work for you, and use it to your advantage. Then, one very important thing is social media presence cleanup. Your online presence should be, um, how do I put it? When you start looking for a job, some of the companies have started doing a social media profiling of a candidate that they are hiring. So when you apply for a job, along with your interviews, there is a parallel research going on the net about the kind of posts you have or the kind of social media presence you have. What are you writing about? What are you talking about? All this is seen, and sort of a candidate profile is built. So make sure that if you have any thing that is probably unprofessional or something way out in the past, that you've posted something, or uh, something as simple as your LinkedIn profile picture also. If you feel that is not a very good picture for approaching a company, then if it's not very professional looking, make sure that you clean it up and you take appropriate steps to make it look good. So next one is connect right. So what do I mean by connect right is, when you are on social media, you get multiple requests, and you are also tempted to send out multiple requests to uh, different people that you probably have met or would like to have a professional collaboration with. So look for these kind of profiles, and see what who probably might be able to help you, or who would be beneficial for your professional growth, as well as with whom you can share your professional qualification with, and build a mutual rapport and a professional connection. Also, if you find a job posting on LinkedIn, and when you open that job posting, if you scroll down, there will be a banner that says people you might know who work in this company. So this banner typically highlights all the first degree connections, second degree connections, and third degree connections that you might probably be able to connect with, and who probably might be you might even be able to request them to refer you to that position if they're working in that company. So that is what I mean when I say connect right. So look for such connections which you can build on social media, and you can land a good job probably with the right connect. Then I know I'm digressing a little from the topic of the day, that is building your resume, but I feel I should talk about some of the frequently asked questions in interviews, and how to find your way around those questions. Uh, let's look at the questions one by one, and see how you could probably shape your answers to answer these questions better. Now, this is not absolute a reference to, like, this is the question, then this has to be the answer. This is mostly the tips that I'm sharing now are about um, helping you think in that direction so that you use your experience and examples, real life examples, to answer these questions. So tell me about yourself. This most of the cases you might wonder, this recruiter or the hiring manager has my resume in their hand. They have seen my resume. Why are they asking me, tell me about yourself? What is the point? This might seem like a very silly question coming from the company, but this is your window and your opportunity to talk about things that are not there in your resume. And you can talk about your aspirations of where you want to grow from. Probably, for example, if you're looking for a job change, you're already employed somewhere and you're looking for a job change, then use this opportunity to tell them about the reason why you're looking for a job change. Or if you're looking to transition from one career line to the other, then you can talk about what, uh, for example, you can say, I have been a journalist for so and so duration, and I've worked on these things, and uh, it has been a great experience, but I have always aspired to do this and this, and that is why I feel this job opportunity will probably help me achieve my dream of becoming this, or that is my aspiration and that is where I plan to grow. So you can use this tell me about yourself question to talk about these things which are not there in your resume. Then comes strengths and weaknesses. Now, this can be slightly tricky. You'll need to do your homework to answer these questions properly: strengths and weakness, or what is your SWOT analysis, or something like that. So strengths and weakness should be such that they should align with the job that you're applying for. For example, you I mean, it's a good thing if you're lucky and your friends are your strengths, but saying that is not really going to add much value to your interview. So see what your skill set is and see what your strength in your skill set is, and accordingly talk about your strengths that way. uh, then what are your weaknesses? For that, I would say that try to be honest about it, because the person in front of you is asking this question to understand you better as a candidate or as a future employee. So don't I would recommend not to be overreaching and over ambitious and say something like, I'm a perfectionist and I need to do things in certain way, and that is my weakness. I'm a workaholic and that is my weakness. um, if that is really the case, then make sure that you have examples where you're supporting this claim that you're a perfectionist or you're a workaholic. And also, since this is a weakness, the recruiter or the hiring manager will want to know what are you doing to improve this. So if, for example, if you, I don't know, I'm just giving an example. If you say I'm lazy and I tend to put things off till the last minute, then you can probably say that I used to be, I used to procrastinate things. I used to put off things till the last minute, but then that cost me a certain opportunity, or that cost me this. And so since then, I have made sure that I'm on top of things, and I've taken help. I've done exercises which have helped me overcome this, and now I don't think that is a problem anymore. And you can give an example of how you overcame it. So that makes your profile very genuine and very real. So make sure that you do your homework before you answer these questions like strengths and weaknesses. Then comes, why should we hire you? Um, Again, use your skills or unique combination of skill set to convince the employer of why you will be a good fit. Again, use the information that you see in the job description. You can say that you are looking for these skills, and I have these skills which are supporting and which will be beneficial to your company, and that is why I feel I am a good fit for your role. So that is how you can use your job description information to answer this question. Then, what do you think are the top three, four qualities of a role that you're applying for? This again will require you to do some homework. If you're already in that industry, then probably this will be a very simple question and a cakewalk. But if you're looking to transition into a different career line, or if you're a fresher and are looking to join the industry, then I would recommend you look up some people from that industry who are in this, who are doing this role currently and who have that job title, and go through their profiles, glance through them, and see what kind of work they do. And from that, you can understand what kind of a temperament or what kind of a person will be successful in this role. So from there, you can see what three, four qualities you feel might be absolutely necessary to be successful in that role. So that is a little homework that you will have to do. Why do you want to work here? Again, use the information from tell me about yourself. What are your aspirations? What are you really passionate about? Or why do you think this role will be beneficial for you as a professional? So use that information to answer these questions. Something like, uh, uh, since I aspire to do this and this person is talking about this, so I feel being in this position will help me grow as this professional. Something like that. Then come the situational questions. सिच्युएशनल क्वेश्चन्स म्हणजे ते एक सिनारिओ देतील ते तुम्हाला आणि तुम्हाला विचारतील की अशा सिच्युएशनमध्ये तुम्ही काय केलं किंवा काय कराल. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, टेल मी अबाउट अ टाइम वेन यू फेल्ड, or tell me about the most satisfying moment in your career or the highlight of your career. What is the best part of your job, or what will you do when you have if you have to work with a person who you don't get along well with. So these are situational questions. Again, use real life examples. Most of us go through such situations in our personal and professional life. Use those examples to talk to support this question. And uh, and if you have not faced such a situation, think about what your reaction or response will be in such a situation. What will you do in such a situation if you face it in the future? Then comes the very important and most sought after question: what are your salary expectations? I feel this should be, uh, I feel you should not beat around the bush for this question, because this is going to be a very strong motivator for a job change or career change. So if look at what your priority is. Are you leaving the previous job because of salary, as in because you want a better salary, and you feel you're underpaid and that is why you're looking for a job? Is that the reason? Then you should have a figure in mind ready when this question is asked to you. Uh, in such a situation, avoid saying as per company standards. Uh, it is the safest answer, I know, but again, it might be a little ambiguous, because if you say as per company standards now during the interview, and if you're selected, hello, is there a problem in my audio?
No, ma'am, it's audible.
Okay, great. So if you say during your interview, if you say as per company standards, and then if you're selected and you're given an offer letter, and then you negotiate the offer, then that puts you in a very difficult situation and sort of puts you in a bad light. Uh, that shows that you didn't think about this answer if this is such a strong motivator for you. So do your homework, understand what the pay scale is in the industry for that role, for your level of experience and your kind of skill set. And if salary is not really a strong motivator, but the career transition is the motivator, then say so in the interview that uh, my priority is moving into a new role, moving into this role. As far as the salary goes, then this is what I'm making previously, and this is what I expect, or this is what I was making previously, and I would expect you to give anything above this. That would be a good compensation for me. So avoid beating around the bush for this question, and do your homework before you answer this question. Then comes questions for the interviewer. So typically at the end of the interview, the interviewer might ask, "Do you have any questions for me?" I have seen most of the people give away this opportunity, saying, "No, I don't have any questions. You've answered everything," or something like that. Don't give up this opportunity to ask questions to the interviewer, because uh, this is your window to understand more about the role, जे जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्ये दिलेलं नाही आहे. तर अपार्ट फ्रॉम द इन्फॉर्मेशन दॅट इज इन द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, ask the interviewer questions like, टीमचा साईज काय आहे, हाऊ इज द टीम लोकेटेड, जॉग्राफिकली मल्टिपल लोकेशन्स मध्ये आहे का टीम, मग तसं असेल तर माझे वर्क टायमिंग्स काय असतील, व्हॉट इज युअर एक्सपेक्टेशन आउट ऑफ दिस रोल, मग तुमच्या कंपनीचे वर्क फ्रॉम होम पॉलिसीज काय आहेत, किंवा माझे रिमोट वर्किंगचे ऑप्शन्स काय आहेत वगैरे, असे क्वेश्चन्स तुम्ही ह्यावेळी विचारून घ्या. म्हणजे तुम्हाला त्या पोझिशनचा इनसाइड व्ह्यू सो टू से मिळेल. And this is a good, if the interviewer is the right person to answer these questions, you will get very good information out of this question, and out of these questions, and it will help you make a decision about later whether you want to go ahead with this company or not. So make sure that you prepare for this aspect also of the interview, questions for the interviewer. So moving on to the next one is I'll share some tips and tricks when you're going ahead with your entire end-to-end job search process, like making your resume, applying and sending it out, and searching for jobs, everything. So first one is, do not put your contact info in an image format. I have seen some candidates put across their information in the resume, कारण ठीक आहे बाबा, मला माझी कॉन्टॅक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन मिसयूज व्हायला नको म्हणून मी इमेज फॉर्मॅटमध्ये माझ्या रेझ्युमेमध्ये टाकणार आहे. तर काही काही वेळा काय होतं, बरेच कंपनीज रिक्रुटमेंट रेझ्युमे मॅनेजमेंट सॉफ्टवेअर्स वापरतात, आणि तुम्ही CV अपलोड केला की ते त्या रेझ्युमे मॅनेजमेंट सॉफ्टवेअरमध्ये जातं, आणि ते सॉफ्टवेअर तुमचा रेझ्युमे पार्स करतं. पार्स म्हणजे it goes through your resume and pulls out and segregates the information that is mentioned in the resume, and probably puts it in a Excel kind of format, which the recruiter can later download and directly get a one-shot view of your candidature and of multiple candidates. तर अशा वेळी जर तुम्ही इमेज फॉर्मॅटमध्ये ती इन्फॉर्मेशन टाकली, विच इज युअर कॉन्टॅक्ट इन्फो, तर ती कॅप्चर होणार नाही त्या सॉफ्टवेअरमध्ये, अँड युअर प्रोफाईल माइट मिस द चान्स. तर try not to put your contact info in an image format, and then use consistent indentation and fonts throughout your resume. Microsoft Word मध्ये styling options म्हणून एक section असतो. You can use that. That will help you keep consistency throughout your document in the titles and the text that you put in. Mug, avoid use of too many colors in your resume, especially if someone is taking a print out of your resume, and if it's a black and white print, and if you've used some light colors to put some information, तर ती इन्फॉर्मेशन काही काही वेळा मिस होऊ शकते, and it might not be visible. So avoid using colors, too many colors in your resume, especially careful when you use light colors. Then this is interesting, auspicious days to apply to any job. Now I came across a very interesting article, and I thought I'll share this in the talk today. There apparently are certain days which increase your chances of being seen by the recruiter. For example, Monday and Friday are apparently not good days to apply for a job because an entire Monday goes in probably planning for the next week ahead for the person, and probably catching up on any pending tasks that they might have had from the previous week. The Mondays apparently are not a good day to apply because your candidature might get lost in the entire clutter. So Friday, and similarly, Friday is probably not good because they are trying to wrap up for the week, and they might not really look at your profile on Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday apparently apply for a job. Though I'm not sure how effective this is, but no harm in giving it a try. Try to apply on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, and see how it works for you. Then keep your resume portable. Always keep a PDF and a Word document handy in either your phone or a laptop or any device that you prefer, from where you can easily edit and send your resume. Uh, then maintain a tracker for all the jobs that you apply to. Uh, this will help you keep a track of which all companies you've applied to, for what position, on what day, and it will also help you follow up with the right companies at an appropriate time. And the most important thing is it will save you the embarrassment of jumbling up two different companies. It will not be a good experience for you. It will not be a good experience for the recruiter as well. So make sure that you keep track of all the companies that you've applied to and for what positions. Then do not tamper with your documents. Do not change anything in your documents because there are rigorous background verification checks that happen in almost all companies now, and that so don't tamper with your documents. Then do not lie in your interviews or in your resume. Tweaking your resume for a job description is one thing, and putting in something that is not true in your resume is an absolute no. So, like I said, there are multiple reference checks that happen. So don't get entangled in this uh, kind of thing. Then, last but very important, look at your recruiter as your guide. Your recruiter is going to be the point of contact throughout your hiring process. Build a good rapport with your recruiter. Discuss any uncertainties or doubts that you might have about the position, about your profile, about certain situations that you're in right now. So discuss those which you probably cannot put across to a hiring manager in an interview or in your resume or in an email. So discuss these points with the recruiter, and the recruiter will probably give you a better way to deal with these things, or a good way to handle such situations. So these are a few tips that might help you avoid unnecessary complications. And here are a few helpful links which I came across, which might give you some tips as job seekers. And these are some popular job sites that you can look at. So that's it. We've come to the end of the session. If I haven't bored you, if you haven't dozed off, you can ask me any questions that you might have. I'm open for it. I'll just start my video also in case you need
Yeah.
it.
Maithili, of course, Borate sir is tracking the questions here, and while he shares the questions, I have is the media industry as organized as the big corporate industry, and in terms of HR practices and interviews and all that? Or do they operate more on an informal level?
The media industry is known to operate on an informal level, but there is still a structure in place which the recruiters would follow.
Mhm.
And the thing is, in media industry, most of the job movement happens through references. I know
Mm.
that one person working here and this person has been doing a good job on this feature or this beat, and I would want that person to be on my team. And that's how things work most. Even the corporate sectors work this way, but it
Okay, over to Borate sir for conducting the question answer session.
Okay.
I,
On Facebook page, I'm not finding any question there, but here in the chat window, there is a question from Gauri.
I would
That
say
after applying for a job, how long should applicants wait to hear back from the recruiter?
uh, organized, more structured. Yeah. So typically, week is 3 to 4 days. It depends which level you are in the interview process. If you I would say bureaucratic is what we look at before evaluated and don't feel that there is a match skill set at the resume level, then you probably might not get a call because there are the volume of resumes that come in are huge, and probably a recruiter might not specifically reach out to you saying this profile is not going ahead, but position is still open. So typically, if you want to follow and if you have a reference in the company, then you can expect to hear from them. Depending on a week is your position to close. You can expect to hear from them in 2 days to a week's time or 10 days.
Maithili ma'am, your voice is getting break again and again.
Maithili, you have just paused your screen. Please stop sharing it. So
Okay.
we can see you. Yeah.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you would like to repeat the previous answer.
The resume is evaluated and they don't feel that it depends on the urgency of closing them, and if a resume is evaluated at the initial screening level, probably the recruiter might not specifically reach out to say that your resume is not selected, but if it is a good fit and they feel that they should call you, then you might hear from them in anything between 2 days to 10 days from your application date. So if you have any reference within the company, that will help you to follow up. But yeah, generally, this is the timeline. 2 to 10 days is what you can hear back from. You can hear from the recruiter.
There is a one more question is there in the chat window. How salary expectations questions should be handled by first time job seeker?
Okay. So like I said, the safest bet is to say as per company standards, but again, make sure that you understand how much that company is paying, has been known to pay. For example, if you have any friends or if you have any idea about that industry or about that company's pay scales, you can say that I am aware that this company, that your company pays around this much for first-time job seekers, but and if you have any financial expectations or commitments, and if you are expecting a certain number, then do put that across. But also make sure that you say that, but I am open to this figure considering the other benefits that you might offer. So that sort of gives them an idea that this is the figure you're looking for, but they might be able to if needed, there is room for negotiation, and you don't come across as a very rigid, and there is no barrier when it comes to salary discussion.
One more question is there from Ashwini Pawar. Last time when I got to know about an opening in media house, I asked recruiter to share job description, but he asked me to send resume first. So my question is, without knowing a job profile, how can one should build a resume?
Okay. A job description is something that will help you have a job description from them in so I was saying they should call you is going to be you know what your prior application did, you to follow up with them, but you want to highlight so like I said, the safest way and how much the company is paying. For example, if you have pay scales from your application date, that will help you to follow up. I am aware that this is room for when it comes to salary discussion. First time job seekers.
Maithili, again, your voice is unclear.
So I have a job description, but I'm open to that. That sort of thing that I'm looking for. But process a very, you know what your prior experience is. You know what.
Ma'am, your
Maithili,
voice is not audible at all.
yeah. Please, if you can adjust it
Job
again.
description is something that will help you know what your profile, your skill set. So accordingly, fill in that information. A job description is. Is it better now?
Yes.
It's better. Okay. Okay. So I was saying, if you don't have a JD, you still know what your profile is. You know what your employment history is or your academic qualification is. So and your skill set. So it shouldn't really matter if you have the JD or not, but the JD is something that you can leverage to highlight the better aspects of your resume to match the requirement. But otherwise, you should be good enough to have a resume on your own without a JD as well. So you can look at the structure that I've shared, and accordingly, you can fill in the information.
Okay. There is another question by Gauri that I am currently looking to transit from a 7-year career in a comparatively unfamiliar field to mainstream media. So, how do I make sure it reflects properly on my profile without confusing the recruiter?
Okay. Uh, so this field that you're talking about, first uh, list out all list out everything that you've done in the current field or the 7-year career that you have. List out everything that you have done in this period, and what roles and responsibilities you've handled. If there are any unique situations that you've been dealing with, mention about those, and see how some profiles or job descriptions that are available on the internet or on the media house that you are aspiring to join. They might have some see what
Hello, ma'am, you are not audible at all now. Hello.
She is on mute, Yogesh sir. She has to unmute herself.
Okay.
hello.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. I think range issue is there, ma'am.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
We must be having some problem with the range, but
Hello.
I think, yes,
Yes,
Maithili, you are
yes.
back. Good.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure. There's some network issue today. Yeah, I was saying, I was looking at that question about the 7-year career transition. So I was saying, list out everything that you've done in the 7 years career period, and look for job descriptions that are available on the internet regarding the role that you're looking to join in the media house, and try to find a common ground as to how you can leverage your 7-year experience to move into the media industry. And in the resume itself, you can use the professional summary section to talk about what you've done in the 7-year career period, and the reason why you're looking to move into a media house or operations and management role.
Okay. There is one more question from Sanyog. How about mentioning as per industry standards, as salary expectation instead of putting any figure?
That is fine. Like I said, everyone's situation and circumstance is different. The financial commitments and requirements are different. So, answering this question in different contexts for different people, the answer might be different. So, if salary is not really a priority, like I said, if the job transition and the job change is a priority, then you can go ahead and say that as per company standards or as per industry standards should be good enough. So typically industry standards in the IT sector, corporate sector is anything between 20 to 30% of hike on current salary or previous salary. Again, there are a lot of things that come into play when your salary is decided. It's your skill set, your prior experience, and the company that is hiring, and what are their pay scales.
Okay.
So there's no problem in saying as per industry standards.
Hmm.
I just thought I'll give you more options about how you can, the different ways you can put this across.
Okay. Then on Facebook page, there are no questions yet.
Okay.
It's live there, but still there are no questions. And here in chat box,
Okay.
again, one question is by Sanyog again. It's like it's broken into two pieces there. Okay, one should make changes in resume as per the job you're applying for. For example, if applying for assistant professor, you also should make change accordingly. And when applying in media industry, resume should highlight work experience in media. One should make changes in your resume as per the job. So you should. What is the question then? Means.
Sir, should I ask it myself? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, Maithili ma'am, this problem was with the network connectivity. I unfortunately
No
pasted
problem.
first part of it. The thing is like,
Okay.
if you're applying for a job, specific job,
Hmm.
like in an education field, so you
Hmm.
should highlight as a educational background, like you completed your net examination, you're qualified for the assistant professor, as in your higher, like cover or introduction of your resume. And if you're applying in a media industry, like a copy editor or something like a sub editor, you should highlight the media experience in your resume. So as per the job profile or as per the job description, your resume should have some changes, right?
Yes.
Or the same resume I wish should follow forward every time, kind of thing.
Uh, if it is possible, it is advisable that you you make the changes to your resume. But like I said, using the job description to highlight some aspects of your resume is about telling what you've already done and not something
Okay.
that you've never done but you want to highlight just because it is there in the job description. So it is a fine line, and if you've done the copywriting, copy editing work before in some role, in some capacity, then you can highlight it and bring it in your resume, uh, and you leverage it. Otherwise, whatever your actual experiences is what you'll put across.
Okay. One more question with the same. What happened is I'm applying for one job, and before the response from that company, I'm getting another job, and that is on a urgent hiring basis.
Okay.
So what should I do? That many a time this is a dilemma. Like,
Okay.
should I accept this one which is in hand, or should I wait for the one which is due and I want to do it?
Okay.
So this is
So
dilemma.
there are some, yeah, there are some things you need to think of first. Uh, what are the pros and cons of both these offers? Is the other job that you're in the process for, has it reached the final stages? And can you get any commitment from the recruiter or the hiring team saying, yeah, this is your something in return, something in written is black and white that you can get, saying that your opportunity there is confirmed, then you can make a decision. Or uh, basically the thing to remember is an offer in hand is worth more than any, even if you are in the, even if they say you're in the final process, till you don't get the offer letter, that job opportunity is not yours yet. So if you can ask the company where you've got the offer from to wait for some time till you get a confirmation from them, but then that can be about 2 to 3 days. You have to give a definite date saying by when I'll reach I need time till Wednesday or Thursday or so and so date. Then tell them I'll give a confirmation by this date. And before that, if you can get a confirmation from the other company, uh, then well and good. Otherwise, I would recommend you go ahead with the company where you've got the offer from.
Okay.
Till you
Thank
don't
you,
have
ma'am.
anything
Yeah.
in writing, it is not confirmed. So that is the reason, protecting your own interests. It is always better to go ahead with the offer that you have in hand. And since
That's
you're
right.
saying it is urgent, that is why I'm saying you might not be able to delay it further, but you can ask them to give you some buffer time to come to a decision.
Many times it's like happen that once you join that company and you're getting the offer from the first one, and that time it's nothing but a regret kind of thing, or you cannot go by behind it.
Yeah. So that's a tough spot to be in, actually. But there's very little that you can do in such cases. Like I said, if you can delay the confirmation to this company where you're getting the offer from, if you can delay the decision by some days, then you can do it. Uh, or and in the meanwhile, ask for the other company for a confirmation so that you can come to a decision. And also see what are the pros and cons, why, what
Yes.
would make the cut, which
Sure,
offer
sure.
would make the cut.
Sure,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Prasad sir, there are no questions now. Means there is no question here in chat box as well as no question on the FB page as well. So I think we should conclude here. So over to Prasad sir.
Sure, we can conclude. Conclude. Maithili, in case you want to share anything more, otherwise we can conclude the session.
I'm good. If I'll share the presentation with you. You can share it with everyone, whoever needs it. And if anyone has any queries later, you can definitely reach out to me via email. I'll try my best to respond to your queries and help you out.
Sure. I'll do that. I'll share your presentation as well as contact details. So I really appreciate your presence here, Maithili. तुम्ही वेळात वेळ काढून आलात. आता तुम्ही बेळगाव मध्ये आहात, तुमच्या पर्सनल ह्याच्यासाठी, तरी तुम्ही तुमच्या धावपळीतनं वेळ काढला आणि आमच्यासाठी एवढं चांगलं सेशन घेतलं. थोडा नेटवर्क इश्यू झाला, ठीक आहे, पण महत्वाचे पॉइंट्स कव्हर झालेत. आणि जसं तुम्ही म्हटलात की ह्या ज्या काही गोष्टी कव्हर करता आल्या नाहीत त्या आपण नंतर, म्हणजे आम्ही जे पार्टिसिपंट आहेत त्यांनाही मी एक रिक्वेस्ट करू इच्छितो, जर त्यांना काही स्पेसिफिक प्रश्न विचारायचे असतील तर ते आयदर बर्वे मॅडम कडे, योगेश सरांकडे किंवा डिपार्टमेंटकडे किंवा पत्रकार संघाकडे तुम्ही जर दिलेत तर ते पण आपण क्रॉस व्हेरीफाय करून नंतर त्याची उत्तर आपल्याला देण्याचा प्रामाणिकपणे प्रयत्न करू. तर थँक्यू व्हेरी मच मैथिली, तुम्ही आज खरंच इथे आलात त्याबद्दल. आणि मी बर्वे मॅडमला रिक्वेस्ट करतो उद्याच्या सेशन विषयी त्यांनी थोडंसं आपल्याला सांगावं आणि त्यानंतर मग आपण फॉर्मली आजचं जे सेशन आहे ते कन्क्लूड करू. ओव्हर टू बर्वे मॅडम. थँक्यू मैथिली वन्स अगेन.
पुढचं सेशन 16 तारखेला आहे, हो ना योगेश सर? 16 तारखेला 11 वाजता आहे, म्हणजे परवा आहे, मंगळवारी. आणि आपल्याच विभागाचे माजी विद्यार्थी आणि नंतर पत्रकार म्हणून काही वर्ष काम करून ज्यांनी मीडिया क्युरा नावाची स्वतःची संस्था स्थापन केली आणि ज्याच्या मार्फत ते खूप वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारची कामं करतायत. म्हणजे मूलतः पत्रकारितेतला अनुभव, पत्रकारितेची कौशल्य यांचा वापर करून अतिशय चांगल्या प्रकारे उद्योजक म्हणून आता ते पुढे आलेले आहेत. विविध प्रकारचे त्यांनी प्रयोग त्याच्यामध्ये केलेले आहेत. त्या सगळ्याविषयी ते आपल्याला माहिती देतील, ज्याच्यामुळे पत्रकार म्हणून दुसऱ्या कोणाकडे तरी काम करण्याऐवजी उद्योजक म्हणून आपण स्वतंत्रपणे ह्या सगळ्या कौशल्यांचा विचार करू शकतो का, या दृष्टीनं विचार करण्याची एक दिशा सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांना आणि आपल्या सहभागी पत्रकारांना मिळू शकेल. थँक्यू सो मच मैथिली, and thank you everybody for joining. See you on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. We'll share the link with you. Thank you.
Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.